But do you think Mumbai is again being left behind when it comes to rapid rail?
In a way, yes. And it is there on the cards of government, especially for Pune. More than Mumbai, I think Pune needs it a lot. And Maharashtra Metro has already shared this idea with the government and they are trying to get a feasibility study done.
उनको नजर लग गया उस प्रोजेक्ट का. That was monorail.
जो बहुत ज्यादा नैरो रोड्स रहते हैं, वाइंडी रोड्स रहते हैं, जहाँ ग्रेडियंट्स बहुत उल्टे सीधे होते हैं, उसके लिए मोनोरेल बहुत अच्छा है. वर्स्ट पार्ट वाज फेज 1 एंड फेज 2 में बहुत डिस्टेंस हुआ कि जो कंपनी इसका रोलिंग स्टॉक दे रही थी दैट वेंट बैंकरप्ट. सो 15 ट्रेन्स वर एक्सपेक्टेड ऑफ, दे डिडंट कम.
What's happening particularly with Metro 14? I want to ask you.
It is not working on PPP, then they will have to consider it on EPC by going for multilateral funding.
Who are easier to deal with, bureaucrats or politicians?
I would say politicians.
एज इंफ्रा एंथुसियास्ट हमारे लिए बहुत ज़रूरी होता है कि हम उन लोगों को सामने ले आए जो एक्चुअल इंफ्रा क्रिएशन के अंदर एक रोल प्ले करते हैं, वो भी बड़े लेवल पे. एंड टुडे आई हैव मिस अश्विनी भिड़े विद मी, MD ऑफ MMRCL एंड ऑल्सो द प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी फॉर द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र. और मुंबई के आसपास जितने इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स रहे, बी मुंबई मेट्रो लाइन 3, द ईस्टर्न फ्रीवे एंड अदर बिग प्रोजेक्ट्स, मैम हैज़ प्लेड अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन इट. तो आज उनके साथ में डिस्कशन करेंगे नॉट जस्ट अबाउट हर रोल इन मेट्रो लाइन 3 बट एवरीथिंग इंफ्रा विद इन मुंबई, विद इन महाराष्ट्र और इवन इन द एंटायर कंट्री दैट दिस इंफ्रा बूम इज गोइंग ऑन. सो let's start. So ma'am, welcome to the channel Powertrain, and you are one of those people who we actually started idealizing when our infra journey started. और आज हम हमारे चैनल पे आए हो तो बहुत सारे सालों से क्वेश्चंस भरे which I want to ask you. So firstly ma'am, Mumbai Metro Line 3 finally delivered.
Yes.
Record breaking, people have given love to the line. But what's next for you as a person and for MMRCL?
I think let us first talk about MMRCL. MMRCL के लिए तो एक नया प्रोजेक्ट आया हुआ है, गवर्नमेंट ने ऑलरेडी दिया हुआ है. दैट इज मुंबई मेट्रो लाइन 11, which is another fully underground project, and that goes from Vadala, starts from Vadala, and then it covers the port area, the Mumbai Port Trust area, because that area is also poised for redevelopment. सो बाद में वहाँ अगर बड़ा रीडेवलपमेंट हो गया तो उसको पहले से ही कनेक्टिविटी होनी चाहिए, तो वहाँ पे अंडरग्राउंड स्टेशंस है. फिर वो हार्बर लाइन क्रॉस करके भाईखला एरिया में आएगा, एंड दैट इज़ ऑल्सो एरिया इन बिटवीन हार्बर लाइन एंड सेंट्रल लाइन जो अभी रेलवे से कनेक्टेड नहीं है. एंड देन मोहम्मद अली रोड जो बहुत ही ज़्यादा कंजस्टेड है, वहाँ जहाँ इस तरह की कनेक्टिविटी की ज़रूरत है, नागपाड़ा एरिया, वो सब एरिया कवर करके वो यहाँ तक जाएगा अपना गेटवे ऑफ इंडिया तक. सो दैट्स अ रफली 20-21 किलोमीटर लॉन्ग कॉरिडोर, फुल्ली अंडरग्राउंड. डिपो वडाला में होगा और इट विल बी इक्वली चैलेंजिंग एज मेट्रो लाइन 3, बट इट विल बी इक्वली हेल्पफुल टू पीपल और उससे मुंबई की कनेक्टिविटी बढ़ जाएगी. और मुझे ये यकीन है कि इस प्रोजेक्ट को जो प्यार मुंबई के लोगों का मिल रहा है, उसको देखते हुए यहाँ जितनी कठिनाइयों को हमें झेलना पड़ा वो वहाँ नहीं होगा. that is my greatest hope. और people understand the importance of this new generation public transport, क्योंकि मुंबई के लोगों को वैसे आदत है पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट की. आपको पता है या आपके सारे व्यूअर्स को भी पता होगा कि ऑलमोस्ट 7.5 मिलियन पीपल, 75 लाख लोग रोज़ मुंबई में सबर्बन ट्रेन में ट्रैवल करते हैं. बट हुआ ये है कि सालों से लोग सबर्बन पे ट्रैवल करते हैं, उसको रोका ही नहीं जा सकता. तो उसमें जो इम्प्रूवमेंट वो ट्रेन चला के ही करना पड़ता है, और वो अपने कैपेसिटी से बहुत ज़्यादा उस पर ओवरलोडिंग है. So as a result of it, that travel has become is not so comfortable or so safe, though it is very very efficient and reliable भी है, but comfort and safety के लिए उसमें थोड़ी सी दिक्कतें हैं. तो ऐसे स्थिति में आज जो नई टेक्नोलॉजी अवेलेबल है, ग्लोबल सिटीज़ में जिस तरह का आधुनिक मॉडर्न पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट है, वो मेट्रो के रूप में मुंबईकरों को मिल रहा है. or now people have tested it and they have seen the difference in travel, how comfortable it is. Underground also, these are all air conditioned trains, very very modern, reliability, the signaling system, everything is punctuality और reliability में तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा उसका importance है. तो once people have tested it, I think they'll support us and they would want more and more connectivity of this type.
मैम आई अंडरस्टैंड कि जो कंजेस्टेड एरियाज है वहाँ पे टनलिंग बिकम्स अ नेसेसिटी, आप राइट ऑफ वे ऊपर से नहीं दे सकते. एंड वी आर ऑल्सो सीइंग एज पर माई नॉलेज देयर आर 9+ रोड टनल्स अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन इन एमएमआर रीजन. एंड सर ने भी अभी कुछ दिन पहले 70 किलोमीटर+ टनलिंग का नेटवर्क अनाउंस किया. यू बीइंग ऑन अ प्रोजेक्ट व्हिच हैज लाइक बहुत ज्यादा टनलिंग का काम उसमें हुआ है. इन मुंबई व्हाई टनलिंग बिकम्स सो इम्पोर्टेंट, और लाइक इज इट द ओनली ऑप्शन?
सी मुंबई में लैंड मास बहुत ही कम है, क्योंकि मुंबई एक आइलैंड सिटी है, तीनों साइड से उसके ओशन है, एंड द सर्टन एरियाज इट्स लाइक अ वेरी पेनिनसुलर स्ट्रक्चर. सो मुंबई की विड्थ बहुत कम है अगर आप देखें तो. सो एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ दैट रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी बहुत कम है. तो ऊपर रोड को कितना वाइडन करोगे आप, वहाँ पे इतनी जगह ही नहीं है. 2000 किलोमीटर से ज़्यादा रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर मुंबई में नहीं है. इवन इफ़ यू हैव एडेड कोस्टल रोड, फुल कोस्टल रोड अप टू विरार और अदर रोड्स, फिर भी उसमें ज़्यादा एडिशन नहीं हो सकता बिकॉज देर इज़ नो लैंड मास अवेलेबल. So in such situation, how do you create new infrastructure or new layers of public transport? Either you go elevated or you go underground. अब elevated जाने में ये है कि you have to follow the road network because you can't take elevated metro in some other manner. So if you without disturbing the existing structures. So रोड पे ही अगर आप elevated करोगे तो रोड विड्थ कम हो जाती है. elevated के कारण थोड़ा सा कंजेशन, क्योंकि आपके हर किलोमीटर पे एक स्टेशन आएगा, तो आसपास के एरिया में जो रीडेवलपमेंट है या डेवलपमेंट है उस पर थोड़ा इम्पैक्ट होता है. सो बहुत ही कंजेस्टेड एरिया में आपको एलिवेटेड का ऑप्शन बहुत कम हो जाता है, रिस्ट्रिक्ट हो जाता है. अनदर थिंग इज मुंबई ऑल्सो हैज़ अ हेरिटेज एरिया, स्पेशली साउथ मुंबई जो पहले से एक पेनिनसुलर है, जिस पे जगह कम है, वहाँ पे जो फैब्रिक है वो सारा हेरिटेज स्ट्रक्चर्स का है. तो हेरिटेज स्ट्रक्चर्स में अगर आप इस तरह का एलिवेटेड ये खड़ा करोगे तो उसकी ब्यूटी ही पूरी चली जाएगी. वर्ल्ड ओवर हेरिटेज इज प्रिजर्व एंड मुंबई वी नीड टू प्रिजर्व इट. सो दैट इज़ वाई वी हैव टू गो अंडरग्राउंड. पहले अंडरग्राउंड करने में काफ़ी मतलब एक कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं था. और ऐसा लग रहा था कि मुंबई तो 7 बेटों का शहर है, जिसमें बीच में रिक्लेमेशन किया हुआ है, बहुत जगह पानी बहुत नज़दीक है. तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में अगर आप टनलिंग करोगे तो वेदर इट इज़ फिजिबल. बट मेट्रो 3 का जो टनलिंग हुआ उससे वो सारी जो apprehensions थे they have now vanished. And for this 33.5 kilometer long metro corridor, we have done more than 55 kilometers of tunneling because we had to do twin tunnels.
Yes.
And if you leave the area left for the stations in between, so total tunneling length comes to almost 55 to 56 kilometers. And we have tunneled through hard rock like basalt, breccia, turf, or we have done through a reclaimed area also. We have done beneath Viti River as well. So all kinds of geographies, this tunneling is done in a very very safe way. So that paved the way of this tunneling projects in Mumbai, and which actually will serve the city in a much better way. Because tunneling gives you the option of taking the most efficient route. अगर आप रोड से जाते हो तो आपको रोड को फॉलो करना पड़ता है और उसमें आपका एफिशिएंसी नहीं आती है. जैसे कोस्टल रोड की टनल हमने बाद में की, वो पूरी मलबार हिल से गई हुई है. तो जो रोड लेंथ इतनी कम हो गई, 2 किलोमीटर की वो 2 टनल्स है, उससे आपका जो डिस्टेंस है, जैसे हाजी अली से लेके अगर आप मरीन ड्राइव तक आते हो तो बहुत कम हो गया उसके कारण. सिमिलरली इन अदर प्रोजेक्ट्स विच यू मेंशन, MMRD is building a tunnel between Thane and Borivali. Now, if you have to go from Thane to Borivali, how much time you would take, and what kind of, if you go by the road and on surface, it because it's a east-west connectivity, and there is a lot of structures on the ground which you have to negotiate. But if you go underground, it just becomes a 5 or 6 kilometers distance. So that is the beauty of tunneling, because you can bypass all the structures on the surface and have the most efficient route, and you can connect from whichever point to whichever point. And that is why Mumbai's connectivity is now getting spruced up or getting revamped by these new tunneling projects. Tunnel boring machines are the safest and probably one of the most efficient way of doing tunneling. And in Metro 3 we use 17 tunnel boring machines. Coastal Road, the machine which was used was the highest diameter machine at that point of time. But now other projects, maybe Thane Borivali or Goregaon Mulund, all these projects are using even higher diameter tunneling machines. So I think tunneling is now pretty much settled in Mumbai. What you need is a place for the launching shaft and a place for the retrieval shaft. Once you identify that, then tunneling becomes easier. Yeah.
मैम एज यू सेड नो कॉन्फिडेंस आया एज गवर्नमेंट हमें आफ्टर द प्रोजेक्ट ऑफ मेट्रो लाइन 3 और हमने अभी ये सब हम काम कर रहे हैं बट देयर वाज अ न्यूज़ फ्यू डेज बैक कि यूनिफिकेशन होने वाला है डिफरेंट मेट्रो बॉडीज का अलग अलग एंटिटीज जो ऑपरेट कर रही है या बना रही है कैन यू एक्सप्लेन लाइक व्हाई दिस वाज नेसेसरी और व्हाट काइंड ऑफ एफिशिएंसी दिस वुड लाइक ब्रिंग अप
See, all over the country, the cities which are implementing metro projects, they are under one umbrella. You take it Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, so entire Delhi and NCR region. So whatever projects are happening, so Delhi Metro is the lead company which is constructing as well as operating. Same is the case with Bangalore, Chennai, then Lucknow. So every state, Gujarat, then even Madhya Pradesh. So all these states they are coming up with metro projects in their major cities, and they are under one corporation, one umbrella. The reason is because then a lot of things you can. Basically bring efficiency, because if you do projects together, then your planning becomes easier, your resource or procurement becomes easier, your resource mobilization becomes easier. In Maharashtra, for various reasons and some legacy reasons also, different entities have been implementing different types of projects. Like Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation has been doing underground projects, MMRD has been doing elevated projects in Mumbai. Maharashtra Metro Rail Corporation is doing both elevated and underground projects in Nagpur and Pune. And even Navi Mumbai was done by SIDCO, but operation is being done by Maharashtra Metro Rail Corporation. So at different time junctures of time, the then leadership decided that these agencies would implement those projects, and there were valid reasons for that. But having, because that time all projects were in the very nascent stage, and government thought if multiple agencies implement that simultaneously, then probably we'll be able to do the projects faster. And it was true to some extent, and it has happened. So different agencies, because there are so many people then got engaged and they did these projects. But having completed a sizable metro network, for example, in Mumbai, now we have 80 kilometers of metro network plus 20 kilometers of monorail. So it is almost 100 kilometers of modern metro. Navi Mumbai Metro is a different thing. Pune and Nagpur Metro has also doing very good. So in Mumbai, especially in MMR, now there is a sizable chunk of metro network which is in operation. So now government has thought that even though implementing agencies are different, but for operation purpose there has to be one entity, because still construction there is no direct contact to commuters. But once the metro rails and metro corridors are operational, then they are basically to serve the commuters and their needs. So if there are multiple agencies, so then for commuters it becomes very confusing. And apart from that, each agency would have different policies, different kind of announcements. So for commuters, that there has to be a seamless service. And though we have tried our best to do seamless soft integration, like we have this NCMC card,
yes
National Common Mobility Card, which is applicable on all metros. So वो थोड़ी एक तरह से उसमें सीमलेसनेस लाता है. दूसरा, हमने अभी मुंबई वन जैसा कॉमन ऐप MMOCL ने बनाया है. तो उससे भी सीमलेस सर्विस मिलती है. बट डिस्पाइट दिस देर इज अ डिस्कनेक्ट. And at times what happens when different agencies implement different projects, they focus on their own project, and the seamless connectivity part between metros, which the commuters should not even realize that there is a disconnect, that doesn't happen. So when operating company is one, then that operating company can take care of that. Secondly, you can optimize your resources. If an operating company is one, you can utilize your resources in a more efficient way, because one company operating one line, other company operating four lines, third company operating three lines. I think that is why at this juncture government has taken this very right decision of going for that. A committee has been set up. We have multiple operators like MMRDS, Triple M, OCL. This is a one operating company. They have a in-house operation model. Mumbai Metro Line 3 has already outsourced their operations, so that is another operation model. Navi Mumbai Metro is being operated by Maharashtra Metro in an in-house way. That is third operation model. Whereas Chennai Metro has a different model. Delhi Metro has a different model. So I think this committee would study all the available models और फिर एक कुछ common solution लेके आएगी.
मैम आपने डीएमआरसी के बारे में बात की इनिशियली, हाउ दे आर अंडर वन अम्ब्रेला. One very big thing that NCR is working very hard on right now is RRTS.
Yes.
Mumbai was left behind when it came to metro. Do you think RRTS की अब दूसरी लाइन बनना शुरू हो रही है?
Very true.
To Alvar. So, as a person, I'm asking, not as a person who is in government, but do you think Mumbai is again being left behind when it comes to rapid rail?
I think Mumbai, in a way, yes, but in a way, no, because Mumbai, if you think of Mumbai or MMR as a region, we already have suburban system, which is lacking in that way Delhi NCR. So that kind of connectivity is already available. But I fully agree with you that we have to think of the future and we have to come up with regional rail. The advantage of regional rail is it doesn't stop every 1 kilometer, because metro you have its purpose is different. Its purpose is to decongest the congested areas and give connectivity at every nook and corner. So for metro, distance between two stations is 1 kilometer or even lesser. Whereas RRTS, the stations are 8 kilometers and at beyond distance. So that gives the speed, that gives the right kind of connectivity. And RRTS again being a very modern, slicker transport with lot of technological advantages, I think that really serves and it goes, the experience is much better than probably the suburban rail or the regular rail service. And Delhi Merit RRTS, the train runs at 180 kilometer an hour speed. So that kind of arrangement has to be there in Mumbai. The only thing is right now we are doing metro, but we need to plan for that, and it is there on the cards of government for, especially for Pune more than Mumbai. I think Pune needs it a lot, and PMR, the Maharashtra Metro has already shared this idea with the government, and they are trying to get a feasibility study done. We have also requested that a similar study needs to be done for Mumbai, and we need to identify the routes where people need direct connectivity, because there are certain areas which are industrial areas where many people travel from Mumbai to those areas every day. And today what they do is they go by their car to a station, then they use suburban rail system, and in a very very crowded and cramped environment they travel. But from there again they have to take another mode of transport. So if we can identify such pockets where bulk of the travel is happening from one place to that particular place, so you don't need to give connectivity at every location, a very limited number of stations in between, and the travel could be very fast. So daily travel, daily commute also people can do, and those areas can flourish, because Mumbai you don't have space for industry, whereas many frontier tech industry needs to be around Mumbai for various other reasons. So if we can identify those pockets or those areas where investment is happening, and then like Palghar is now coming up
Yeah.
on a large scale with Vadhavan port, which is coming up. I think the area around Vadhavan in Palghar district is going to get a huge boost, not only in terms of the port related activities, but even the new investment opportunities, new industrial development, and such areas need a direct connectivity from Mumbai, which is much faster than even suburban
Traditional,
rail
yes.
and metro. So I think there is a scope for RRTS in Mumbai, and state government is certainly looking at it. Yeah.
Ma'am, as you said about industrial areas where people travel from long distances, I belong to a similar place. Me Ambarnathla rato.
Okay.
So a lot of people travel there from nearby pockets.
Yes, yes.
But unfortunately, what I'm seeing, what happened with the Metro 14 tender, that it was not able to attract companies on PPP model. What's happening particularly with Metro 14? I want to ask you.
Uh, Frankly speaking, I am not much updated on that
Okay.
because that is being done by MMRDA. But if it doesn't, it is not working on PPP, then they will have to consider it on EPC by going for multilateral funding, because it is very difficult to do projects, metro projects on PPP. Uh, unless you give lot of sweeteners
Yes.
in terms of land parcels, and but you have seen now what has happened in Hyderabad. So Hyderabad also, the sweeteners were in the form of real estate, but despite that the private player couldn't continue with
feasible,
it,
yeah.
because their objective is different, and you can't make it a reliably profitable business all the time. So, and it's a public service, so government has to be there. What best you can do is basically to create this such financial structure where your cost of initial funding or cost of capital is less, and then you have the kind of wherewithal to look at it in the long term, and government can support that even initial operational losses. So the crux of a good metro alignment is to ensure that it has ridership. Don't do project for the sake of it, because you have to have ridership. You also have to ensure that densification happens around metro corridors. So you don't chase the habitation, but you make metro line such a way that the development happens around metro. So it serves both purposes, that this urban sprawl you have to restrict. So you need to go for densification, and that is was this times our Urban Mobility India conference also has the same theme. Had the same theme recently we did, that how do you make metros profitable. It could happen only when you get ridership. Ridership could happen only if you allow or you incentivize development around metro stations, so that the development people get easy access to transport. They don't have to travel longer distance, and because of the mixed use they can stay in the same location, they can work in the close vicinity, and by using metro the work to house distance also doesn't remain much. So if you do this kind of project, then probably PPAbility of the project would also increase,
Yes.
because unless there is assured ridership, the projects can't be PPAble. So line 14, if you are talking about what is the distance, what is the ridership, so all those things would matter, and only by giving VGF or giving sweeteners you can't ascertain
Make it
the
feasible, yeah.
PPAbility. The reason is it is not only construction, it is operations. And
Yes.
operations of metro, initial years, it cannot be profitable, because you need to build a critical mass of ridership, and secondly you also need to develop many non-fare box kind of revenue. So that takes some time, and private sector, their business cycle is 15 years, 20 years, and within that if the profitability doesn't come, then it cannot sustain. And that is why I think if line, though I don't know much about line 14 on what is the status, but I can imagine
Yes.
what must be happening there. And probably the line is, if the line is so important, and if the line serves a large number of population, then it should be done the way other metros are done. where through EPC by getting multilateral funding, or even domestic funding also these days is available. Initially they used to give only for interim funding or for stopgap arrangement, but now even the domestic funding agencies are also structuring funds, the funding or lending for 15 years, 20 years, which is which could be considered, especially elevated projects where the cost is that way restricted. This could really work. But for underground project, JICA is probably one of the best options, where yen also doesn't fluctuate that much, and their cost of funding is very less, and they handhold you for a long time.
Ma'am, funding you spoke in the end a lot. Uh, is it still true that the government has to look out for funding options when it comes to metro projects with banks or institutions, or for projects that are very important, government should also like put hands in their coffer and fund them?
No, I don't think the project needs to be structured on their own strength.
Hmm.
And if you don't, and if you just government starts doing budgetary funding,
Yes.
then project can't be structured in an
Hmm.
efficient way. And metros are not some projects where government should give budgetary support all the time, full budgetary support. Government has so many other things to do,
Yes.
and so where there are no revenue, returns,
Hmm.
and these are the services. So the rural areas, health, education, there are so many sectors, rural roads, rural infrastructure, or even smaller town infrastructure, wherever there are no opportunities to have revenue, and it is mainly something which you need to which you need to build to serve the common citizens. Government should have that priority. And metro projects, if they are structured efficiently, then they can serve themselves. And especially when the funding opportunities are available outside, because when you go for borrowings and you have to repay the loan, the structures become more efficient.
Yes.
You find for the sources of revenue. You ensure that your expenditure is controlled.
Yeah.
But if government keeps giving budgetary support, then that would be an issue. Yes, government needs to support where in the initial phase of operations, where it takes time to build a ridership, so there are operational losses, and you still need to continue the services because they are the main public transport corridors. So during that phase, government needs to give budgetary support. But there also in cities, if you really go for transit oriented development, and if you incentivize densification around stations, then by giving higher FSI, by charging higher premium to for that FSI, and there are so many other means by which the cities can earn revenue, and that Mumbai is also doing. We have put some additional cess on the stamp duty. Now TOD has already allowed for Mumbai Metro Line 3. Proposals have started coming. So whatever is the additional premium which they will be paying for the higher FSI, it will be divided between BMC and Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation. So 50% of that premium would come to Metro Corporation. So these are the additional sources of revenue which government has made available. The only thing is we need to create systems to recover that revenue, distribute it properly for the right cause. So government's budget should not be
Disturbed.
Disturbed. Yeah.
Okay, and I think I saw this heavily when I first time traveled in Metro Line 3. The number of commercial opportunities and avenues that were
Yes.
planned in the. Ma'am, there is another plan that recently came out that Mumbai wants to connect a lot of places of importance with pedestrian subways.
Yes.
So can you like elaborate what it exactly is?
See, all over the country or even globally also, metros or any public transport corridor, if they are connected properly to the neighborhood, then it is easier for people to access the metro. And if the more accessibility you provide, the more ridership you get. These are the things which are proven by Singapore and Hong Kong have in Dubai. But Singapore and Hong Kong are the prime examples where above stations they have created so many structures. Hong Kong, there are even elevated walkways where they very seamlessly connect to metro station and the commercial and residential development around. And that is why they have even reduced the number of parkings which a building can have, because people don't need to own vehicle. So that is a very ideal situation. Mumbai, cities like Mumbai or Bangalore, that may not be possible, but cities have been toying with this concept of connecting the neighborhood with metro station, either by elevated walkways or for underground pedestrian subways. So when we started 3-4 years back, in mid of our project, we had already floated an expression of interest, seeking suggestions from the new developments which are coming up, whether they are interested to have a underground connectivity, especially the big commercial complexes and or the malls and all. And we had received very positive responses from many people. So our concept was, we will conduct a study, and where both parties will pay 50% each to appoint an architect and designer who will identify the right route and design it. And if it is feasible, then we will do the construction on their behalf, but the funding has to be done by the private player, and they could recover part of it by having advertisement rights or some rights. So we did receive a response for that, and some people came forward. But in the meanwhile, government also came up with the idea of transit oriented development for, and that it is meant today for underground metro only. So the idea is, all the area in 500-meter radius or each station, they will have this benefit of TOD, where in their development or redevelopment project they can get higher FSI up to 8. And they can build, have a mixed kind of land use, ensure affordable housing also. But it is mandated that they are connected to metro station by a vestibule, that is an underground passage. So this is the whole concept. So we started it, but now it has become part of the development control regulation. Now the challenge is how to do this vestibule connectivity, because we have already built stations and redevelopment projects would come at different time zones or time frames. So how do you connect, and whether each development project would have an independent underground connectivity? So these are the matters of details which now MMRC, Urban Development Department, BMC and the developer community, we are jointly resolving. So there is a concept. We have already received 35 odd proposals for NOC for the who want to take TOD advantage. Some of them may be very next to metro stations, so they won't need underground connectivity. But for others, UD, Urban Development Department, has asked MMRC to prepare a basic master plan of vestibules, how those vestibule network could come up around a station. So we have taken 3-4 stations, and some sample studies are also done. So the idea is, we built this basic master network of vestibule, and then the private entities, whenever they come up, they would latch to that vestibule connectivity. The cost will be, of course, borne by the private sector, because the developer, because they have to do it. Now, there are some other questions, like if the underground vestibule network construction is costing very high, and if we load everything on the development project, the pricing for housing would go up. So these we will resolve over a period of time, how to structure it and all. But this concept is already approved, it is codified, it has become part of the development control regulation. And for elevated metros, MMRDA has already been trying, though this is not, the TOD is still not applicable, but they have done that in some projects like Oberoi Mall, they have connected. So wherever there is opportunity to connect metro station to the nearby commercial or residential development in the vicinity, it has to be taken up, because it serves both the purposes. It gets ridership for the metro, it makes citizens experience ease of travel, and secondly, it removes the congestion on the road. And in a city like Mumbai, where road network is limited, space is limited, there this is very much required.
I think this is one of those projects which will be most impactful for everyday Mumbaikars, but
Absolutely.
पता नहीं लोगों को अब तक इसके बारे में.
Yes.
Ma'am, another project I want to ask like your opinion on. I know you're not directly involved. We are sitting right now in BKC, and there is a huge push for a pod taxi project over here. Can you like say कि ये necessary है or there should be some other option or this is something Mumbai has to try for a better future?
See, in a linear city like Mumbai, even if you provide the MRTS, Mass Rapid Transit System, you still need last mile connectivity, because people have to, for example, even in BKC, like Metro Line 3 is already here, people come to BKC, but from the station, BKC station or Vidyanagari or the this Bandra Colony station, if people have to go to internal parts of BKC, which is a commercial district and very very densely structured,
Yes.
because there are so many commercial units are here and so many people visit. So for them, the last mile connectivity today is only in the form of auto, taxi or buses. Now buses are hardly of any use because the traffic congestion is so much that they can't have the right kind of speed, and people, it is not reliable.
Yes.
Not that people don't use it, but buses are not reliable, their timings are not reliable because there is no space. And auto and taxis also have limitation and they face the same problem.
Correct.
Of lack of reliability. So how to deal with this issue? So you need to have a reliable last mile connectivity. And yes, pod taxi, MMRDA is working on it. And I personally feel that that is a right kind of last mile connectivity project for a area like BKC, because here most of the professionals visit that, and they would like to have such environment till they reach their office, which makes them, keeps them as fresh as they are, because nobody would like to walk on the road. In Mumbai is very humid, and then in their suits and coats, and then attend official meetings. So what is the way out? Otherwise, if you don't provide that, people won't use metro. They would still prefer to, even if it is taking a lot of time in traffic, they would still like to go by their own vehicle or some aggregators vehicle, or some. So that is why, and pod taxi, though it's a kind of an experiment, but it's a proven technology. The advantage of it would be, there is again very less human intervention, because these are automated vehicles and they keep running, so reliability is as high as a metro or that kind of public transport. And it can, because it is very slick, so because of that it will connect Metro Line 3, all stations of Metro Line 2 plus Bandra and Kurla stations. So if that happens, and then inside it can literally run on all the roads of BKC and give connectivity. I am told that there are some 30 odd stations, stops there. So people can literally, they don't need to take any other mode of transport if that works. So we can decongest BKC roads the way in 2009 when I first started working in MMRDA. That time BKC roads used to be great fun to travel on, because absolutely no congestion. On holidays, they were literally empty. People used to play cricket on that. But today the situation is completely reverse, and the way vehicles are increasing every day in Mumbai, though the number is less than Pune and other cities, but still. So, from where are you going to get better roads? How are you going to improve walkability? Because certain areas, even if you have good footpaths, people can't walk. And it becomes very difficult, especially for the professional, the business entities. So, I think BKC is a very ideal candidate for a project like Pod Taxi, though we need to see how that comes up.
Ma'am, you told about the times when you had actually joined in MMRDA. Uh, Under your vision or your supervision, multiple projects have been executed. I want you to, I'll mention a few projects. मेरे को बस short में आप बताइए most challenging part and most interesting part about the project. So first would be the airport elevated road.
The challenging part was removing 700 slum structures, including 15-20 odd religious structures, and that was the most challenging part. Easy part was it was a very well designed project. It was under I think Government of India JNNURM project, so funding was tied up, and doing it was great fun. The kind of structure, the design it has, and we worked it with a private entity. Like the half the part was done by airport, contractor was the same, and the most difficult part was getting the land, and we had to even remove some structure from airport colony. So that was the most difficult part.
And ma'am, when it comes to Eastern Freeway,
Eastern Freeway was it was magical because many people didn't know that any such project is going on, and the moment, because it was a missing link,
right,
and the moment it was opened, then it was, people were awestruck,
surprised,
that surprised. It was a difficult project. The reason being, we had to remove almost 5,000 slum structures, rehabilitated them on the just buildings next to. We had to build a tunnel under the BRC hillock. We had to remove structures on that hillock, which were on RCF land, where they didn't have any policy for slum rehabilitation. Then that project has everything. There was a complete missing link where we had to build a road, 5 kilometer long road on a marshy land by loading and unloading. So it took some time. We had to cross the railway. We had to go through mangroves. So we needed the forest clearance. And then we had to go in the BPT area. So port permissions and approvals were needed. We had to cross custom and central excise land. So those approvals were needed. We had to remove some major structures in BPT, which were in their purview, but we had to find ways out to do that. And on top of it, there were 3 different projects, which were that time earlier conceived differently. So we had to stitch them together. So Eastern Freeway was one part, then APLR, and the, I think Panjara Pole, some road was another, and third was from Chembur to that from that tunnel up to Mankurd. There was a elevated road. So these 3 different projects, 3 different contractors, 3 different timelines, and we had to stitch them together. So that was very complex project. Plus in port area we had to deal with multiple utilities, huge gas pipelines, oil cables, then almost I think 133 kV electric cables. So there were so many things in that project. But
ma'am, another project, final one in this kind of this section of questions. But that project seemed to किसी को नजर लग गया उस project का. That was monorail.
yes,
So interesting part and challenging part.
interesting part is that was again a very innovative mode of transport, which was introduced to MMRDA in 2007. By the time I joined, the project was already awarded, and my job was to get the project done. We did the first phase from Chembur to Vadala, and the second phase also. So by the time I left MMRDA, first phase was done and commissioned, and second phase almost 70% work was done. But unfortunately, and the best part is that alignment is absolutely efficient, because monorail is the most suited kind of a transport for जो बहुत ज़्यादा नैरो रोड्स रहते हैं, वाइंडी रोड्स रहते हैं, जहाँ ग्रेडियंट्स बहुत उल्टे सीधे होते हैं, उसके लिए मोनोरेल बहुत अच्छा है. और वो जो कॉरिडोर है वडाला से लेके चेंबूर से लेके जेकब सर्कल तक, वो कॉरिडोर पे आपको दिखेगा कि बहुत सारी मिल लैंड्स है जो अंडर डेवलपमेंट में हो गई है, बहुत सारे हॉस्पिटल्स हैं, KEM, टाटा कैंसर, ये सारे उसी पे है. और कितने सारे वहाँ पे ना बस रूट हो सकता है, ना मेट्रो हो सकती है, ना सबर्बन लाइन है, सिर्फ मोनोरेल जा सकती है. तो that was the best part of it. The worst part was phase 1 and phase 2 में बहुत डिस्टेंस हुआ. जो उसका 7-8 years का डिस्टेंस जो इमीडिएटली होना चाहिए था, for whatever reasons I don't want to say talk about it, but it was not done. Probably people give up, and they have some preconceived notion कि ये project ठीक नहीं है, which was not correct. But एक बार अगर गवर्नमेंट ने प्रोजेक्ट लिया है तो everybody's responsibility is to complete it on time, and
Yes.
these are projects which will be beneficial over a period of time. तो वो शायद मिस हो गया होगा, बट वो ना होने से हुआ ये कि जो कंपनी इसका रोलिंग स्टॉक दे रही थी दैट वेंट बैंकरप्ट,
Yes.
and the rolling stock which was supposed to come, some 15 trains were expected, or four coach each, they didn't come. So what happened? There was no other company which was manufacturing the same rolling
Right.
stock.
Yeah.
सो लिमिटेड रोलिंग स्टॉक से आपका जब प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है रोलिंग स्टॉक में, तो यू स्टार्ट कैनिबलाइजिंग द एग्जिस्टिंग रोलिंग स्टॉक, बिकॉज पार्ट्स वहीं से आते हैं. एंड मेट्रो या मोनोरेल का ऑपरेशन ये इतनी क्रूशल चीज़ होती है कि जिसके लिए आपको बैक एंड बैकवर्ड फॉरवर्ड लिंकेजेस डेवलप करने पड़ते हैं, आपको लोकल वेंडर्स को डेवलप करना पड़ता है, आपको जो स्पेयर पार्ट्स प्रोवाइड करने को वालों को डेवलप करना पड़ता है. वो शायद उसमें नहीं हुआ. तो हुआ ये कि आपके पास ट्रेन्स ही नहीं है, आपके पास एक अच्छा सा रूट तैयार है बट ट्रेन्स ही नहीं है. ट्रेन्स नहीं है तो होता है कि जो 10 मिनट के फ्रीक्वेंसी में चलना चाहिए था वो 50 मिनट की फ्रीक्वेंसी पे चल रहा है. तो व्हाई वुड पीपल कम टू दैट रूट? बिकॉज देन दे हैव अदर मोड्स ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट. आपका फ्रीक्वेंसी नहीं है तो कम्यूटर्स नहीं है, कम्यूटर्स नहीं है तो आपका ऑपरेशनल लॉसेस तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा है. और उसके बाद फिर अगर वो वेंडर चला गया तो यू नीड टू लुक फॉर अदर वेंडर्स. वो सारे प्रोसेसेस काफ़ी डिले हो गए. और अभी न्यू वेंडर हैज़ बीन आइडेंटिफाइड. बीच में ही एक हुआ कि जब जब तक मोनोरेल का किसी को इम्पोर्टेंस ध्यान में नहीं आया, लेकिन एक दिन जब हार्बर लाइन बंद थी
Yes.
तो पीपल शिफ्टेड एंड मोनोरेल, और उसमें इतना ओवरलोडिंग हुआ कि वो टिल्ट हो
One
गई.
more rate.
तो
Yes.
वो एक, बट दैट वाज अगेन देयर वाज नो रीजन टू, बट इट हैपेंड ड्यूरिंग टिल्ट बिकॉज ऑफ ओवरलोडिंग. Now the new rakes are getting tested. They are indigenized rakes. Signaling system is also indigenized. Yes, there will be some teething problems because there was a minor
Small crash.
episode. But I think when you develop indigenous technology, we should allow these kinds of mistakes to happen. We should allow people to rectify them. Otherwise, हमारी तो in house कुछ तैयार ही नहीं होगा.
Yes.
Every time if we depend on the foreign bidders or players, देन हमारी कैपेसिटी कब डेवलप होगी? तो उसको देना चाहिए और उसको निगेटिवली बिल्कुल ही नहीं देखना चाहिए. एक बार ये हो जाता है, और अभी न्यू ट्रेन्स अगर 10 ट्रेन्स उसमें आती है और सीबीटीसी सिग्नलिंग सिस्टम आती है, तो आई थिंक दैट इज गोइंग टू बी अनदर
Hit project.
पॉपुलर रूट फॉर द कम्यूटर्स.
Ma'am, one thing that you gave me a perfect segment. You spoke about indigenization. You have been in this infra story for long. Recently, went to a Rail Expo, and almost every part is now made by some Indian manufacturer. I want you to tell me कि ये ecosystem, ये supply chain कैसे develop हुआ है, because now we are getting news that even TBMs are going to be manufactured by Indian companies. How is the difference between today and maybe 10 years back?
I think in metro sector, indigenization started some years back, where Delhi Metro, because Delhi Metro was the dominant and the
Yes.
only player in metrosphere. Once they went in operation phase, they started doing lot of things on their own. In their first project, there were general consultants from outside, and they were guiding the project. But later on, Delhi Metro Corporation developed their own consultancy capability for themselves as well as for other
Yeah.
metros. That was the first indigenization, I would say. And then they started developing lot of components of, say, rolling stock or all other systems, signaling system, electrification system, all other parts. So they started doing. They had almost 17, 18 items. They had mandated that any
Has to
vendor
be.
who is
Yes.
providing. But after that, so that Delhi Metro started in a modest way, which is earning results now. But government of India also under Make in India kind of that program, they mandated lot of things towards indigenization. So in all our contracts, certain components percentage was prescribed for indigenization. Even in rolling stock, though companies are still from outside, some of them like Alstom is there, earlier Bombardier is there, but they mandated that at least 75% should be
Really?
manufactured in India, and now we went for 100%
Yes.
manufacturing. And once if you start manufacturing trains here, even though it is under the name or brand of a French company, but lot of components come locally.
Yes, supply
Maybe
chain.
some important components may be coming from outside, but lot of local components are there because the supply chain they need to develop. Everything can't be brought from outside. So this is how slowly the indigenization has increased. Government of India, MOHUA has also given stress on doing lot of standardization, because once you standardize, then people know that this component there is certainly going to be a demand for that. So across metros, there were multiple committees for each system, be it signaling, be it electrification, be it AFC. For every system, there have been committees, and these committees have not only standardized the technology, but they have also identified which components can go for indigenization.
Mm.
And that was made mandatory for the main vendor.
Yes.
So naturally, he started looking for the local suppliers, and that has got a boost. And Indians, we are known for innovations,
Yes.
local jugaad, lot of things. So now many vendors are developed in this process. So last 10 years, I think this is a journey of metro sector. Yeah.
Ma'am, I have a few more rapid fire questions, which are mostly on personal opinions. So I'll just quickly. I would request that you answer them in maybe one word or one
Okay.
line. Okay. First one. Which project are you proudest apart from Metro Line 3?
Eastern Freeway.
Eastern Freeway. Acha, which city has better food, Mumbai or Nagpur?
I think Mumbai, because
I-
Mumbai has all kinds of food. Yeah.
Who are easier to deal with, bureaucrats or politicians?
I would say politicians.
Ma'am, one thing Mumbai should learn from NCR's infrastructure.
RRTS.
A project that still keeps you up at night in either worry or in excitement.
I think it is Metro Line 3 only.
Which is your favorite engineering marvel in the entire world?
I will say Metro Line 3. Though there are many.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ma'am, if you weren't an IS officer, what career path do you think you would have chosen?
See, I've been in IS officer for past 30 years, and I can't think of any other career path.
Ma'am, some personal reflection questions over here. You can answer these in a long format. Uh, if there was a dream project which doesn't exist on paper or in anybody else's mind yet, what that project would be? You think ये बनना चाहिए, and you would like to execute it.
No, I think some kind of iconic structure which Mumbai should have,
Hmm.
for which Mumbai should be known. Yes, Sea Link, Atal Setu, or Coastal Road, they have become. But beyond that, a very, very unique identity of Mumbai, because these kinds of structures are there everywhere. So something of that sort, maybe a building, maybe a tower, maybe a garden, something. So that very, very iconic, very unique to Mumbai, which is not there in any other part of the country.
Have you like pitched this idea to the chief
No,
minister?
no, no, not yet.
Because even I think the Mumbai skyline lacks something that could be recognized globally, even with a silhouette.
Yes.
Ma'am, from your experience, I want you to highlight what are the biggest strength in Indian bureaucracy, as well as what is the biggest disadvantage.
I think Indian bureaucracy is a real steel frame, because they are at their best when there is some problem, and they don't budge by that, and they immediately come up with a solution. If there is a disaster, if there is some very, very complex kind of situation, this bureaucracy finds a way out, come what may. And I think that is their biggest strength. But the weakness, I would say, at times, because it's a steel frame, it lacks dynamism, it lacks fast decision making, and at times they are very scared of making decisions because they think a lot. So and they always try to be the best in their decision making, and in that process they delay the decision. So that is the weakness, I
Ma'am, do
think.
you think bureaucrats who perform well are able to deliver? Do you think they get rewarded adequately or they get recognized adequately?
It depends. Not that they are not recognized, but what exactly do you call recognition? It depends on that. I think those who work very hard, where their work is visible, people know it, they get all kinds of recognition. But if you, and people know them, people are very affectionate to them. But if you consider recognition as form of some award, some kind of a bigger posting, then probably that may be there, that may not be there. But recognition is certainly there. Of course, visibility also matters.
Yes.
There may be bureaucrats in different parts of the country where there is not much visibility. Then they may not be known by all people, but still their work speaks for themselves. And the people who know them, the surroundings where they are working, at least in that area, they are known for their good work. So, your good work does get recognized.
Okay. Some more quick questions. We are like entering the final phase where we'll have some imaginary questions.
Mhm.
सपोज कीजिए कि आपको मुंबई में रहने का ऑप्शन नहीं है एंड नाउ यू हैव टू लिव समवेयर इन फ्यूचर सो वेयर इट बी आइदर मुंबई 3.0 or the region near Vadhavan that's going to develop. Where would you choose?
I may try for Vadhavan.
Vadhavan.
Yeah, because that's a very but that's, see, something which is still being built up,
Yes.
where you have the option of creating something new.
Mhm.
So that's something which probably attracts me.
Ma'am, do you think Maharashtra has still not properly explored or exploited the golden triangle that we have? We have Mumbai, Nasik, Pune, big cities, big economies, but still somewhere in the middle we are lacking. Like for example, how China is building huge clusters. हम क्यों नहीं कर पा रहे अभी तक?
नहीं, हम कर रहे हैं.
Mhm.
हमारा पहले तो होता ही है कि certain cities where the natural ecosystem was developed. For example, in Pune, because the automobile industry was at the peak, so automatically the ecosystem developed. Nasik also, that happened.
Mm.
So we focused on those areas. And yes, Maharashtra, that way the disparity between regions or districts is there. But now it is changing. In fact, now what government's industrial policy or the investment policy is promoting those areas which used to be the aspirational districts earlier, and now we are trying to convert them into the most attractive places for investment. For example, Gadchiroli. Gadchiroli was Naxal infested. Gadchiroli was something which is again considered as an aspirational district, not much development. But today, Gadchiroli is going to be a major industrial or investment destination. It is in the process of being steel capital of the not only Maharashtra but of country. And lot of development and investment is being encouraged in Gadchiroli. Same is the case with Nandurbar. A district like
Yes.
Nandurbar, lot of development. Now the new defense corridor is coming. So government is focusing on those areas. In fact, saturation of the existing investment destination has opened up many new areas.
Mm.
In Marathwada, energy transition is happening on a large scale in Maharashtra. So today also 50% of our energy generation capacity is through green energy, and that is going to increase. So all those, where exactly is the place for generation of green energy?
Mm.
Apart from the distributed solar of agri pumps, all solar and wind projects are in Marathwada.
Northern Maharashtra,
Marathwada and
Okay.
Northern Maharashtra. And Marathwada is coming up as a non-conventional energy or renewable energy capital of the state.
Mm.
So Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar and the area around that, the industrial development which is happening there and which is expanding, it is again linked to this. EVs are getting manufactured there. Solar panels are getting manufactured there. So these new areas are coming up on a large scale, and government is focusing on expanding the MIDCs in this, Akola, Amravati, even Kolhapur for that matter. GCC policy which government has come up now, it is encouraging these mid-level cities which are away from the conventional investment corridor. So yes, Maharashtra earlier it did focus only on limited areas, or it happens naturally, but they are now saturated and new areas are opening up, and government is extremely mindful of the regional disparities. And in our new vision document, the focus is on ensuring balanced regional development.
Ma'am, one final question that a lot of my audience keep on asking in the comment section. Is the government focusing way more on roadways, expressways, urban expressways as compared to mass rapid transit? Do you think the balance is shifting a bit towards roads and tunnels?
I think both things are happening in cities. Metros, I mean, MRTS is also giving impetus, but road projects are also happening. There are two reasons, because MRTS, the gestation period is 10 years and above, and during that time you still need connectivity.
Hmm.
And road connectivity is equally important for goods transport, which is also very, very crucial from the industrial development point of view. So any government has to make both as part of their development plans. But I think regional rail connectivity is something which the government needs to focus on. Airports also government is giving a lot of boost. Smaller towns giving that airport connectivity under various programs of government of India as well as the state government's own support. So all kinds of connectivity is needed for a state like Maharashtra, which is very on the high development bracket. So we can't say that only MRTS should do. But yes, I agree that government has to maintain that balance of mass rapid transit as well as the road connectivity.
I'm sorry for like putting the final question after another final question, but we are infrastructure content creators. Uh, do we play a role, and what would be your advice to all the infrastructure creators out there on YouTube, on Twitter? People are doing full time, part time.
I think they do play a role, because I also keep watching a lot of videos of, especially which give information about the ongoing project, how the project is happening. Because even being in the government, I can't go everywhere and see it. So I'm very keen to know how that missing link project is happening, what other projects are happening in the MMR region and elsewhere also. So in these infrastructure content creators have a huge, huge role to play. My only advice is try to get more and more information and be as realistic as possible, because you are the ones who are giving information to people which government can't give, because no project entity has that kind of time to create right ways of right patterns of information which are understood by the commuters. They may give in a very bureaucratic way, which people don't know, and people need continuous updates.
Correct.
So, and like for Mumbai Metro 3, we could give that because it is in the city, it was easier. But the projects which are of regional nature, projects which are spread over many towns and districts, where the infrastructure content creators play a major role, and that is very, very important to give right information to people so that people understand what is going on. The unnecessary opposition could stop.
Right.
The wrong perception could be corrected, because perception challenges in infrastructure projects are, in my opinion, are the biggest and the toughest challenges, and we waste so much of our time in building the right perception, because it is very difficult for us to let people know what exactly is happening. That role the infrastructure content creator can play, and it will be a very, very collaborative kind of effort along with the government agencies.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for
Yeah.
your time. Saurabh also want to ask a few questions.
Yes.
So
हेलो मैम, अभी जब भी हमने आरआरटीएस की बात की या आपके एक ऑल्टरनेटिव चॉइस की बात की, तभी वो मेंशन आया वाडवन का। आई एम फ्रॉम दैट एरिया ऑफ वाडवन। वाडवन पोर्ट की जो साइट है मेरे घर से लिटरली 3 किलोमीटर अवे है। वाडवन का एडजेसेंट गाँव चिंचणी, वहाँ से मैं बिलोंग करता हूँ। तो आपके पर्सपेक्टिव से मुझे जानना है, आई नो मतलब वहाँ पे क्या क्या बनने वाला है, बट आपके पर्सपेक्टिव से जानना है कि मुंबई 3 या वाडवन से बनने वाला जो कुछ, सॉरी मुंबई 4 या वाडवन पोर्ट से बनने वाला जो कुछ फ्यूचर है वहाँ पे, वो कैसा होगा। और जैसे आपने एक काइंड ऑफ हिंट कि फ्यूचर में वी कैन सी आरआरटीएस लाइन टू वाडवन, और क्या क्या पॉसिबल है, और वहाँ के लोगों को और कैसा कैसा ये होगा, फायदा होगा।
See, Badwan is going to be one of the largest port of India, and it
India,
will
yeah.
be probably world के 10 ports में से एक होगा. तो नेचुरली पोर्ट रिलेटेड काफ़ी एक्टिविटीज़ वहाँ जाएगी. एंड सबसे ज़्यादा रहेगा उसकी कनेक्टिविटी, क्योंकि अभी हम JNPT से देखते हैं कि कितना भी बाद में जाके रोड आप बनाओ, फिर भी कंटेनर का जो ट्रैफिक है उसके लिए आपको एक अलग सा दैट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ ट्रैफिक क्रिएट्स लॉट ऑफ
Yeah,
इश्यूज.
exactly.
So all those things could be avoided in Vadhavan, and government is trying to have a direct connectivity to Nasik,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
direct connectivity to Mumbai. So all those attempts are being made.
Yeah.
Apart from that, and जो national highways है उसको तो connect कर ही रहा है, but कोई भी port आता है तो उसके जो surrounding area है वो वही अगर properly plan करे तो वहाँ पे इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट भी उतनी अच्छी तरीके से हो जाएगी. लैंड यूज़ प्लानिंग अगर पहले से ही ठीक से करे तो वो अच्छा हो जाएगा. और ये सब करते समय इकोलॉजी और क्लाइमेटिक बैलेंस जो है उसका भी ध्यान हम दे सकते हैं, क्योंकि इफ़ दैट मच ऑफ डेवलपमेंट इज कमिंग इन दैट एरिया देन यू नीड टू हैव द राइट काइंड ऑफ पावर सप्लाई, पावर अवेलेबिलिटी, वाटर अवेलेबिलिटी. तो ये सारी चीज़ों का ध्यान गवर्नमेंट आज से दे रही है. आई थिंक इन दैट एरिया पार्ट ऑफ इट MSRDC इज द प्लानिंग अथॉरिटी,
Yeah.
part of it MMRDA is the planning authority. So they have already engaged consultants and they are working on the plans. What kind of road network is required, that is also being planned. RRTS is still missing,
Yeah, yeah.
and that needs to be considered on a large scale. But I'm sure government will take note of it. So that whole area, because such projects are transformative in nature, and when they happen in a brownfield area, sorry, in a greenfield area, then that whole area opens up for development. But instead of allowing the development happen on its own, if we plan it in advance and we basically nudge it or focus it in a planned manner, then the boost which for development which that area gets is of different nature only. Local lot of local employment is available.
Exactly.
People, JNPT or this Vadhavan Port Authority has also identified what kind of jobs the port will create.
Generate, yeah.
And then they are trying to identify youth from right now. Some will be from Palghar district, but even it will go beyond, because Palghar district also can't supply that kind of
Everything.
number. So the whole state, this kind of opportunities would be available. But those, because seafarers, this is a huge job for seafarers, but they need some certain kind of training, specific courses. So those skills need to be imparted to them. So all those things are getting studied, examined, and being put in the right perspective at the moment.
और मैम जो आकाश ने क्वेश्चन पूछा अबाउट द इंफ्रा इन्फ्लुएंसर्स, मैं वही का हूँ, मैंने वाडवन पे एक वीडियो भी किया था. तो हमारा कैसा रोल रहेगा उसके जो अपोजिट है या वो क्लियर करने का, मतलब मिसकंसेप्शंस एंड ऑल थिंग.
I think my advice to even project implementing agencies is that at times they are scared of sharing information. And even with us also it happened that we allowed you to do one video,
Yeah.
but then the conventional media or the other influencers, they have an issue.
Exactly.
And then if we open it to everyone, then our work gets
Issue, yeah.
hampered. So all these issues are there, but I think if we debate it more and more, sit across, discuss some information in a very structured way, if it is shared with all the influencers, then probably this would certainly help. And infrastructure influencer should be considered as part of a positive ecosystem for any development project. And the project implementing agency should also find out ways, maybe frame rules also for that, and create a kind of a mechanism by which we can share a very channelized and proper information with them, so that there is no unnecessary competition, there is no unnecessary attempt to give some wrong information just to get more eyeballs. So this is a kind of an asset which we have, the whole team of influencers, and they need to be used in a very judicious way. That's what I feel.
तो यस, थैंक यू मैम. आपने वो मेंशन भी किया जो बैक इन 2022 जो मैंने वीडियो किया था, एंड दैट वाज वेयर आई गेट अ बूस्ट एज अ इन्फ्लुएंसर, या फिर एज अ क्या बोलते हैं कि एक उसके बाद मैंने मेरे टीम सेटअप की, मेरा स्टार्टअप सेटअप किया. यू वर द वन हु गेव मी फर्स्ट ऑफिशियल अपॉर्चुनिटी, एंड उसी के लिए यू कैन फील दैट आई एम अ बिट ऑफ नर्वस कि मतलब किसी बड़े सेलिब्रिटी को, एक रोल मॉडल को जब भी सामने देखते हैं तो वो काइंड ऑफ नर्वसनेस because of
See,
that.
as the time is moving ahead, new age people are coming up. They know the technology, new sectors. So I think people should go hand in hand. They should handle each other so that the sector gets a boost. And gone are the days where government also works in silos or closed doors.
Yeah.
So you have to have that connect with the society, societal forces. Only caution we have to exercise is only the positive forces are with us.
Yeah.
So that's the only caution any government entity will have to exercise.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
This is a small token of appreciation from the entire infrastructure community. frame
Okay,
Acha.
okay. Yes.
This is a
Thank
small
you.
token of
Thank you so
appreciation.
much.
And thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am, for the time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And it was pleasure interacting with you. Thank you.
ma'am.